Of colors, the red of Georgia and the blue or green of Notre Dame. The Mammoth Mod began its milling march early outside the unbelievable edifice to sport, the Louisiana Superdome, home of the Sugar Bowl, the bowl of number ones. For the Sugar Bowl, it would be the third year in a row that collegiate football's supremacy was settled in its New Year's Day Classic. This was billed as the bowl match of the year, the Cinderella of college football, Georgia, a team sporting the greatest freshman back in the history of the collegiate game, the champions of the Southeastern Conference, against the tradition in college football, Notre Dame, with all of its greats, Rockne, Leahy, Parsegian, peering over the shoulder of the very successful Dan Devine in the last game he would coach for the Irish, the end of another Golden Dome era. Week after week, Georgia kept winning. Tennessee, Texas A&M, Clemson, TCU, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, Auburn, Georgia Tech. The Dogs were on the threshold of number one. The road for Notre Dame began with Purdue, Michigan, Michigan State, Miami, Army, Arizona, and Navy, leading to the number one ranking before a Georgia Tech tie, followed by wins over Alabama and the Air Force, and then a finale at Southern Cal. And this was to be a game for the All-Americans, the Irish Scott Zedek, a strong and quick defensive end, John Scully, the piano-playing center, and linebacker Bob Crable, a tackling phenomenon. And Georgia would counter with Tim Morrison, a bulldog of a blocking guard, Herschel Walker, the fluid running sensation of the year, Rex Robinson, the all-time leading SEC scorer, and Scott Woerner, the opportunistic game-breaking cornerback. The seven were the most to ever play in a Sugar Bowl. Add in the spirit and excitement created by the Georgia Redcoat Band, by Notre Dame's famed picture marching band, and the Irish Guard, and all of the elements were falling into place. Brendeley's rendition of the national anthem, the color guard of the proud United States Marine Corps, to the return of the teams to the field, the crescendo of the 1981 Sugar Bowl built. The Sugar Bowl's calendar of sports, during which Tennessee had won the basketball title and champions had been crowned in tennis, flag football, road racing, sailing, and rowing. The game for college football supremacy. The game for college football fans from coast to coast, watching via ABC Sports in greater numbers than ever before in Sugar Bowl history. The game was set to unfurl. The 47th Sugar Bowl Classic. Fighting Irish win the toss and elect to receive. Georgia's All-American kickoff specialist, Rex Robinson, sails the opening boot into the end zone, where Jim Stone downs it for the Irish, and the National Championship Sugar Classic is underway, with the Irish playing a 2nd and 10 at their 20. Freshman quarterback Blair Keel passes complete to halfback Bill Carter in the right flat. Carter runs out of bounds at the Notre Dame 42-yard line. 2 plays later, on a 3rd and 6, Keel passes. And the pass is complete to tight end Dean Mastak for 16 yards and a first down. Senior safety Jeff Hipp brings him down at the Bulldogs 38. It's 2nd and 10 at the 38. The Columbus, Ohio freshman passing again. This time it's good to halfback Tony Hunter for a gain of 8. Senior rover Chris Welton makes the stop at the Georgia 30. But the Bulldog defense stiffens, as it will on several critical occasions this January 1st afternoon, forcing Notre Dame into a 4th and 4 field goal attempt from the Georgia 32. Harry Oliver tries one from 50 yards. It's good, and the Irish are off to an early 3-0 lead. Mike Johnston kicks off for Notre Dame. All-American defensive back Scott Woerner, who would play a major role for Georgia in this classic, returns 22 yards. Junior linebacker linebacker John Rice comes up to make the tackle. The Georgia Bulldogs prepare for their first offensive series. Set back by holding, the Dogs are playing a 2nd and 19 at their 13. Running back Corny Norris sweeps the left side for a short 2 yards as All-Americans Crable and Zedek combine for the tackle. Problems mount for the unbeaten Bulldogs. Buck Belue goes back to pass but sees only sophomore linebacker Joe Rudzinski and suffers a 9-yard sacking. The Dogs punt, and the Irish with a 3-0 lead are back in business at the Georgia 41. Bill Carter on 1st and 10 gains 5 on a left side sweep. 3rd and 5 at the Georgia 36. Quarterback Blair Keel rolls right and completes a short pass to Dean Mastak for 6 yards and a first down at the Bulldog 30. But again, the Dog defense is up to a critical afternoon. They hold, forcing Notre Dame's field goal team back into action again. Harry Oliver's tee is set 48 yards from the goal, but it's blocked by freshman defensive back Terry Holt, and there's joy on the Georgia side of the Superdome. Field goal creates Bulldog momentum. On 1st and 10, the freshman running wizard from Wrightsville, Georgia, Herschel Walker, gains 7 around right end. 2nd and 3, and Buck Belue calls Walker's number again. This one goes right again, and it's good for 7 more yards and a first down at the Irish 35. Belue's pass misses on 2nd and 10. It's the All-American freshman again, Herschel Walker, up the middle for 8 more before Crable brings him down. 3rd and 2 at the Irish 27. Herschel Walker tries the Irish left side. The gain is for 7 and a first down at the 20. Dave Durison and Tom Gibbons combine on the tackle. 2 more Walker runs gain only a pair of yards, setting up a 3rd and 8. Belue is back to pass, but again the Irish defense is ready as senior defensive end John Hankert makes the sack at the Irish 29, setting up a 46-yard field goal situation for Rex Robinson. Robinson's foot is up to the challenge, and the Sugar Bowl has a 3-3 tie with 1 minute 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And here comes what may well have been the key, the critical moment of this battle for national supremacy. Robinson kicks off for the Dogs. The ball takes a bounce to the Irish 1-yard line. There's an unfortunate moment of hesitancy on the part of the Notre Dame receivers, and Georgia's Bob Kelly recovers at the 1-yard line. And there's bedlam for the Bulldogs. From that extremely favorable position, Herschel Walker throws his body over the Notre Dame defensive line into the end zone. Within 41 seconds, Georgia has another score. A touchdown for the freshman All-American, and a replay for the Sugar Bowl. Watch now. Herschel up and over. Robinson comes in to kick a perfect point after, and the Southeastern Conference champions are now 10-3 in front and are on their way to the national championship, but it won't be an easy trip. The Irish get a 30-yard kickoff return, but on 3rd and 4 at their 36, Keel is sacked by senior defensive end Pat McShay for a loss of 7. It sets up a 4th down punting situation for Notre Dame at their 29-yard line. Keel puts his foot into a 42-yarder. Returned by Scott Woerner to the Bulldog 29. A 9-yard return by the senior cornerback from Jonesboro, Georgia. The quarter ends Georgia 10, Notre Dame 3. Georgia in possession on a 3rd and 5 at their 43. Belue rolls right and is driven out of bounds by Joe Gramke, a junior defensive end from Cincinnati. A 2-yard loss on the play. Setting up this 4th and 7th punting situation for Atlanta senior Mark Malkiewicz. Malkiewicz really gets into this one, a 59-yarder that rolls into the end zone, and it sets the Irish up for a 1st and 10 at their 20. And on that first down, fullback John Sweeney heads up the middle but fumbles. And it's a very big recovery by the opportunistic Bulldogs as Frank Ross makes the hit on Sweeney. And Chris Welton recovers at the Notre Dame 22. Belue losing no time and calling on the freshman phenom, Herschel Walker, on 1st and 10. He goes off right tackle for 12 yards. From the 10, Buck Belue. He keeps, sweeps left. And he gets 7 yards before cornerback John Krim takes him out of bounds at the 3. Watch now as Herschel Walker carries it in, sweeping the right side behind excellent Georgia blocking. Watch again. The freshman running right, and watch the blocking. The All-American Rex Robinson connects for another point after, and Georgia is now in front 17-3. We pick up action with the Irish in control. 1st and 10 at the 22. Mike Corey is now at quarterback, and the Sioux City senior pitches to Phil Carter for an 8-yard right side sweep. Jeff Hipp on the tackle. Corey keeps this time on 2nd and 2. He sweeps the left side and gains 13 and a first down at the Irish 43, where Will Forts and Dale Williams combine on the tackle. The Notre Dame offense gains added strength when Corey first goes back to pass, changes his mind, runs right, changes again, and cuts back left for 20 yards and a first down at the Georgia 36. Jeff Hipp brings him down. On the very next play, Corey hands off to Phil Carter. The Tacoma, Washington sophomore goes up the middle for 16 yards and a first down at the Georgia 20. But once again, it was a case of the Georgia defense bending but not breaking. On this key 3rd and 9 situation, Corey rolls left, but Dale Williams limits the gain to 6 and sets up a 4th and 3 at the Georgia 13. The Irish call a timeout. The play decided as a pass. Corey throws for senior flanker Pete Holohan in the end zone, but Scott Woerner makes the first of 2 critical interceptions, and he returns at 19 yards. Notre Dame's big chance fades away. Watch again, instant replay for the Sugar Bowl. Corey passing for Holohan, but Scott Woerner, a real All-American, and an All-American performance. Watch now as Georgia's next series gives the record Sugar Bowl crowd of 78,000 the treat of watching the fantastic freshman Herschel Walker carry again. Here he goes for 6. On 3rd and 3, Herschel takes the Belue pitch and gains 7 and a first down at the Bulldog 26. Cornerback John Krim comes up to make the stop. First right side, then left side, and now Walker goes up the middle. And the gain is for 23 this time to the Irish 44. And again, Krim has the tackling duty. But Walker did show that he wasn't absolutely perfect. He drops this pass from Belue on a 3rd and 9, and Grable was there for a key defensive hit. And it forces Malkiewicz back into punting duty. This time it's a 43-yarder heading into the end zone. Both teams failed to move the ball on their next possession. And we pick up action with the Irish in control, 3rd and 23 at the 25. Keel at quarterback from the shotgun. Fakes a quick kick and hands off to Carter. Bill carries all the way to the Georgia 46. But the Irish are in motion, and it's all for naught. And here comes more bad news on the next play for Notre Dame. On a 3rd and 28, Corey at quarterback. He rolls left on a keeper for a 1-yard gain and a broken hand on the play. A replay on a critical situation for Mike Court. Keel comes in and punts away to Scott Woerner. Woerner takes it in at his 40, and he gets an exciting return before he's brought down by flanker Mike Bushka at the Irish 46. Belue continues to find Notre Dame's defense tougher than he'd like. He's back to pass, Rolls right, and he's dropped by Cincinnati defensive end Joe Gramke for a 4-yard loss. Belue now on a 3rd and 14. He's throwing for tight end Norris Brown, but it's almost intercepted by another member of Notre Dame's Cincinnati squad, linebacker Rick Naylor. Malkiewicz back into punt again, and this one is fair caught by John Krim at the Irish 17. And the first half clock runs out with the Georgians still in front, 17-3. And we enjoy Sugar Bowl halftime performances by the bands from the University of Georgia and the University of Notre Dame. The second half of action in the 47th Annual Sugar Bowl Classic is underway as Mike Johnston kicks off for the Irish. Sophomore flanker Chuck Jones will take it in at the 12. And he returns for 12 to the Georgia 24. The Bulldog offensive game plan in the second half remains run-oriented. Run, that is, with Herschel Walker carrying. On 2nd and 8, the remarkable rookie gets 8 at left tackle before Radzinski and Gibbons bring him down. It was definitely not Buck Belue's best afternoon, though. Notre Dame's defense had his number on many occasions, including this 11-yard sacking by defensive tackle Tim Marshall, a Chicago freshman. Belue calls for his 218-pound tailback, the now familiar number 34. He goes off right tackle, and Walker gets 10 more before cornerback Dave Durison comes up for the stop. Georgia has to punt, and we pick up Notre Dame in offensive action at their 34. Blair Keel sweeping. 12 yards and a first down to the Irish 46, where Nate Taylor will run him out of bounds. But Vince Dooley's defensive unit were typically tough junkyard dogs on this January 1st afternoon. When the going got tough, as they say, the tough got going after Phil Carter, first on this right-end sweep. But Scott Woerner held the gain to 3. And then at the middle of the line, when sophomore defensive back Tim Crow from Stone Mountain was there to keep the advance to a yard, forcing another Irish punting situation. On Notre Dame's next possession, things began to look brighter when on a 2nd and 6, Keel rolled right and passed complete. A 6'5" flanker, Pete Holohan, gains 13 and a first down at the Georgia 43. 2 plays later, Keel rolls to the left. And again, he looks for Holohan. The Liverpool, New York senior makes another catch, and the play is good for 14 yards and another first down at the Bulldog 24. Keel keeps the Irish momentum going, and the Irish fans screaming as he passes again complete. This one is 6'5" split end. Tony Hunter for 5 yards. Cornerback Mike Fisher makes the tackle. Super South Phil Carter carries at left tackle for 4 more to the Georgia 19. And again, Fisher on the stop. Keel keeps and goes straight up to the Georgia gut for 2 yards and a first down at the Bulldog 15. But the Bulldog defense, again, is only bendable. On 1st and 10, Pete Buchanan is held to no gain. On 2nd and 10, Keel goes for the pass. Tony Hunter is the target, but his catch is made out of the end zone and sets up a critical 3rd and 10 from the Bulldog 13. Again, Keel goes to the air, this time for Holohan in the end zone. But the extremely gifted defensive back Scott Woerner is there to knock it down. The Irish decide to go for 3 on a 4th and 10 at the 13, sending in Harry Oliver for a 30-yard attempt. But Harry's effort is wide to the right, and Notre Dame must begin again. That beginning came 5 plays later. The Irish defenders held Georgia on their next series. On 1st and 10, Keel rolled right side and passed complete to Holohan for 8 yards. 3 plays later at the Bulldog 44. Keel rolls right again and passes complete this time to Pete Buchanan for 5 more yards at the 39, where Welton and McShay will make the stop. Blair Keel again, this time rolling to the opposite side to complete a 9-yarder for a first down to Holohan at the Georgia 30. Forts and Fisher combined for the stop. And now watch as Phil Carter shows All-American abilities on this carry. He goes off right tackle for 11 yards and a first down at the Bulldog 19. Senior cornerback Greg Bell comes in for the tackle. From the 18, 2nd and 9, Keel passing complete to Tony Hunter. The gain is for 16 yards to the Georgia 2-yard line. Roverback Chris Welton on the tackle. Notre Dame has it 1st and goal, and the Irish are not to be denied this time. Carter going over on 2nd down from the 1-yard line. 54 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's definitely a new ball game for Notre Dame. A replay from the 1. And the touchdown by Carter. Harry Oliver's point after is good, and the Irish now trail Georgia by 7. The score is 17-10. Georgia's last 3 offensive plays in the period were indicative of what was to come in the final quarter. For both squads, tough defense. Walker swept right on this first down play, but Krim and Hankert held him in check. And then Herschel tried the middle, but he could only get 3 from the 251-pound tough Pat Kramer, a junior defensive tackle. And then on 3rd and 7 from his 27, Belue suffers a 20-yard sacking from John Hankert as the quarter comes to an end. (17-10), stand by for action in the 4th quarter of the Classic. Malkiewicz got off a 47-yard punt to start the quarter, and the Irish were underway. 1st and 10 at their 46. Keel sends Carter around right end for 9 yards before Dale Carver brings him down. On 2nd and 1, Carter will be carrying again, this time over right guard for a gain of 5. Taylor on the tackle. The senior halfback, Jim Stone, then goes off left tackle for 6. And Taylor again does the defensive job. One of the 7 unassisted tackles he made in this battle. Keel, Notre Dame's super rookie, rolls right, keeps and picks up 7 before senior defensive guard Tim Parks brings him down at the Bulldog 27. And again, Notre Dame seems goalward bound. But again, the Bulldog defense is only willing to bend, not break. As Stone runs left, Frank Ross keeps the gain to a short 2. Keel then hands off to Phil Carter on 2nd and 8 at the Dog 25. But Bob Miles is there, and the gain is held to 5. A super critical 3rd and 3 situation at the Georgia 20 for Notre Dame. Carter goes off right tackle, but Scott Woerner throws him for a yard loss. It was a fantastic afternoon for Woerner, who would finish 2nd in voting for the game's most valuable player. 4th and 4 at the 21. And again, Notre Dame goes for the field goal. Oliver sets his kicking point down at the 28 for a 38-yard effort, but it's no good, wide to the left. And here's more outstanding Sugar Bowl defense, this time by the Irish. On a 1st and 10, Walker up the middle, but he's met by 230-pound sophomore linebacker Mark Savagnin. Walker again going off right tackle on the next play. And he gets hit by a pair of All-Americans, Crable and Zedek. No gain this time for the young man who would soon be voted the game's best performer. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10 at the 27. Keel passes complete to Hunter at the Irish 40. But Notre Dame is guilty of offensive pass interference and penalized 14 yards. Keel goes airward again on 2nd and 24 from his 14. A gain intended for Hunter. But this one is intercepted by Jacksonville, Florida's Mike Fisher, returning to the Irish 37-yard line. Georgia looks for some game-clinching points now. But again, the Notre Dame defense shows superior muscle, stopping Herschel Walker as he goes up the middle for 3. Marshall on the tackle. And again, it's Walker carrying. And again at the Irish midsection, but this time Crable is there, and the gain is for 3 more, setting up a 4th and 3 at the Irish 31. Coach Dooley sends Rex Robinson onto the field for this 48-yard field goal attempt, but it's no good, wide to the right. 7 minutes and 29 seconds remain as Georgia continues to battle for a perfect season. The Dog defense sets as Keel rolls right on 1st and 10 from the Irish 31. This pass for Hunter is incomplete. Scott Woerner defending. 3rd and 2 coming up, and Notre Dame again will try for the pass. Keel throwing again to Hunter, but again Scott Woerner defends, and the Dogs force a 4th down punting situation. 77,895 Sugar fans get treated to more great defense. Watch now as Walker tries the right side, but Crable turns the play into a 2-yard loss. Walker again at right end, but Tim Marshall is there to hold Herschel to no gain. And now with 5 minutes remaining, Notre Dame will get its final offensive opportunity. Blair Keel sends Carter around the right side for 7 yards, setting up a 2nd and 3 at the 50. Keel keeps now and rolls right. But he's sacked on the first of 2 tremendous defensive plays by the Bulldogs. This one by junior defensive guard Eddie Weaver, a loss of 4. Blair Keel again on 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, passing complete to Nick Vare, but Chris Welton keeps the gain to 6 yards, setting up a momentous 4th and 1 from the Bulldog 48. Notre Dame decides to use the 4th down for a pass, and Keel's target is his big tight end Dean Maztek. But again, it's the All-American Scott Woerner intercepting at the 34. 2 minutes and 56 seconds remain. Belue is yet to complete a pass for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10. He rolls right and gets 6 before Krim chases him out at the 40. On 3rd and 3, Belue rolls left for 6 and a big-time gaining 1st down at the Georgia 47. Zavagnin on the tackle. Setting up 3rd and 7. And for Buck Belue, this is a pleasant moment to be sure. He gets his first completion of the day, a 7-yarder to Amp Arnold at the Irish 43, and a 1st down for more time-consuming situations. From the Irish 38, Herschel Walker treats the Sugar fans to more of his brilliance, getting 9 yards, running right, then cutting back left before Naylor brings him down at the 29. Here comes Herschel again, sweeping the right side for 5 more. Freshman cornerback Stacy Torin makes the stop. Walker carried 36 times in this 81 Classic for 153 yards. The finale for the undefeated, untied national champions, Belue, rolls left, keeps, and gains 4 yards as Jeff Lukin makes the tackle. The Sugar Bowl clock runs down to its final second. The University of Georgia wins the 47th annual Sugar Bowl Classic and its first national title, 17-10 over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. For Coach Vince Dooley, it's the perfect ending to a dramatic season. And there's Coach Dooley accepting the coveted Sugar Bowl trophy.
The greatest bunch of guys that I've ever seen work as a team together.
And for Herschel Walker, the fantastic freshman, it's more glory for a young All-American as he receives the Sugar's Most Valuable Player Award.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that this award really don't go to one player, but the whole University of Georgia squad.
History is made in New Orleans as the Sugar Bowl is once again host city for the classic national championship in college football. What a scene in the Superdome.